Here I am.
Whistle.
Why you're laughing?
Guys are doing it all. I don't even know what to do.
Well, look. Yeah. Time to get serious.
Traffic is awful loud out there on Lake Road.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another Cape Breton Original Serious Sunday edition. Morning, Laurel. Morning, Rod and Marie. So, guys, as per usual, we're going through, our usual conversations regarding corruption in CBRM. And we have some juicy tidbits this week. Good morning, you loonies. Morning, Albert. So this week, we've got another port in the storm. So what the port's going on? What the port's going on, guys?
Oh, wow. It said, the poop has hit the fan.
It has. It's been a very poopy fan week. So what's going on? What did you read this week, Marie? Anything good?
Well, I've read a couple of great articles from Mary Campbell this week. It was hard to pick which one. Actually, we were supposed to do our Wally trials part 4, but this was just too much. Like, we kind of had to discuss it because it's happening right now as we speak. All this, like, we need to understand a little better what's going on over there because we are the people who are their employers.
We own the damn port.
And the fact that they're actually on a volunteer basis. This hurt feelings that they're getting over this, that it's okay, it's time for someone else to take a turn at helping out the CBRM, right?
I think we could help the CBRM too. These ones that are butthurt this week, there's a product preparation. We could all chip in $3 each and send some to them.
They got enough from us, I think.
I think you're right. Yeah, they could buy their own. All right, so we've got, hold on, let me get this morning's article up. And you can basically go at that article anytime you want, Marie, because it is ready for us to go through.
Here we go.
Got your helmets on?
This one, it was written on May 19th by Mary Campbell, Port in Another Storm. So she says, what is going on at the Port of Sydney? All hell apparently broke loose after council, on the recommendation of its nominating committee, declined to reappoint board chair Jerry Gillis and vice chair Al Pendergast, although both had reoffered. Gillis has already served two-year terms on the board. The articles say you can serve up to 6 consecutive years, but then you have to take a 3-year break before offering again, and was applying for a third. So Pendergast had only served the 1-year term. So you can see here, it's subject to other requirements prescribed by pursuant to the Articles of Association of the company with respect to membership on the board of directors of the company.
Blah, blah,
Carry on. Both their terms expired on March 31st, but instead of reappointing them, the nominating committee, Mayor Amanda McDougall and councillors Gordon MacDonald, Steve Gillespie, Eldon MacDonald, Glenn Perouche, and Steve Parsons, recommended that council appoint the following candidates to the PSDC board. Port of Sydney Development Corporation has individuals with business and commerce expertise, candidate number Port 2, candidate number Port 4, license to practice law, candidate number Port 9.
Wait!
So as you can see, it doesn't name the candidates.
Yeah!
Right.
What kind of transparency is this? Is this transparent? Because I can see it, but yet it's like, it's so opaque. It's not worth mentioning. And like, why would they put that down there? Here's the information, but not the information.
At the time, it was a privacy issue because, like, when you're vetting someone, like they were doing, they weren't actually legally allowed to name. So at that point, it was a privacy issue.
Okay, so they really couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So council, as you can see, doesn't name the candidates it's considering, referring to them only by their numbers. So during its February 23rd meeting, council appointed candidates 2, 4, and 9 to the port board.
Okay.
Then during a May meeting of the nominating committee, municipal clerk Deborah Campbell, Ryan, informed council that 2 other PSDC board members, Glenn Morant and Troy Holm, had resigned on March 24th. The clerk
Oh,
didn't get into the gossipy details surrounding the resignations, but
oh,
Councillor Gillespie
little,
noted
little
that it was
violin.
due to the decision made by the nominating committee, and Morant told the CBC's Tom Ayers he didn't agree with the decision not to reappoint the chair and vice chair. So Port CEO Marlene Usher has written a memo to council saying she's not happy with the decision either. Now, do we want to look at that right now, guys, or would you like
Yeah.
to carry on?
Oh yeah, yeah.
They do
Let's look
actually
at.
put in the most important parts here, right, for it, because it is, I
You're
think,
doing,
maybe
this
a
is really
lengthier
well
memo
done.
than
Thanks a lot for looking up these articles, Marie. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
the basic gist of her memo was the councillors on the committee, for their part, basically stuck to their guns during the May 11th meeting. As Councillor Gordon MacDonald put it, he had made his decisions based on the qualifications of the candidates, and he was satisfied with his choices. On its website, the Port of Sydney now lists its board members as follows: Sylvie Gerbasi, Secretary Treasurer; Alicia Jador; Richard Paul; Peter Gillis; Greg Delaney; Dan McDonald; and James Kerr.
Yeah, so Janet, there's where you'll actually see the new. Once they were elected, then you get to see them. Yeah.
Once they were elected, then they're allowed to tell us the names, right?
Yeah, that's the way it works. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the second time in 2 years the Port Board has imploded, although the 2021 exodus is nothing compared to the 2019 version, which saw the entire executive, chair, vice chair, treasurer, and secretary stomp off in a fit of pique over council's failure of approved their strategic plan in its entirety. So I don't know if you guys remember that. I remember reading that article.
Yeah.
But we can go into that at another time if we need to
Oh
brush up
yeah.
on that. But
This is fantastic.
so then, as now, we were assured that the board is made up of hardworking, qualified, generous volunteers giving of their time and expertise in the name of public service, which may be true or may be self-serving piffle. I have no way of knowing because I have no idea what the port does, because the port does not meet in public or publish the minutes of its meeting.
Which
That,
is
to me,
breaking the
issue,
law.
and I've yet to hear it raised by anyone in council.
Yeah.
Or at the port, right? So this is crazy when you think about it. Why is that?
I don't know.
Why are we not allowed to understand their meetings, hear their meetings?
Okay.
What is going on?
Okay, so like I can I jump in here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like I've been on, believe it or not, I've been on a few boards at this point in time, and the whole thing about that is that you're supposed to push your minutes. It's something that if you're an incorporated body, you have to do. Okay, by them not publishing their minutes, especially where they're publicly owned, guess what? They're breaking the law, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I'm understanding it to be. But why is this nothing been done about this yet?
Well, because who's going to charge them? Who's
yeah,
going to charge them?
Well, do we have to do it?
Well,
yeah, basically we are, by doing this, is we're bringing it up in the public eye that you know,
well, I hope people are understanding this and like thinking about it and understanding there is something that we need to be doing about this. How in the heck are we just going to allow that to continue on the way it is?
Well,
anyway.
Okay.
Are we ready for the second part?
Yeah, you go for it.
Okay, secrecy. Ironically, oh so ironically, in deciding not to publish its minutes, the permanent board failed to meet even the very low bar for transparency set by the previous interim port board.
Yeah.
That board, made up of the mayor and a clutch of councillors who were not actually supposed to be on it, but who were placed there through the magic of a notwithstanding clause, used to save up its minutes, edit them, and then post a bunch all at once on the Port of Sydney website without notifying anyone it was doing so.
Oh, wow.
The new board apparently decided that was oversharing and simply stopped publishing its minutes at all. It also seems to have removed the board minutes from the website, or else it's found a way to hide them even more effectively than they were previously hidden. At any rate, I can't find them, says Mary. And when you look up, I've tried it, look up the Port of Sydney, nothing there.
Let's take a look.
Nothing there.
Do it.
I am. I'm doing it right now.
You are the queens of doing it. Well, I shouldn't say it like that, I guess. So,
This is crazy to me, though. This is not fair.
It's back up and running now. The port.
Oh, funny, right? Because once you start putting it out on the media,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of a sudden I realize, what the hell? People are watching
Well-
us. People are watching, and keep watching, because this is getting bad.
well, what we have
Well-
here, I got a new word for this week.
Oh, not
What's that
meritocracy.
one?
What?
Yeah, it's going to sound. It's called entitlement. All
Oh,
right.
Marie,
These-
can you turn up your volume anymore, Marie? Or are you at your max volume? Sorry, Rod.
I'm at my max volume right now.
Okay. All right, keep going, Rod.
Yeah, entitlement. Like this whole port board, and this. We're going to get to it, but maybe I jumped the gun here. But it's all about entitlement.
Yes.
These people believe that they are entitled to the money, and they believe that they are entitled to their positions. But
Yes.
guess what?
They're
They
not.
are not.
No,
They are not entitled to anything. Like everybody else in this life, you are not entitled to anything in this life. You
Nope.
accept freedom. But the whole thing about that is these characters, the port chair and the vice chair and the CEO believe that they are entitled to their positions no matter what they accomplish, no matter what they do, no matter what the people think.
That's right.
So there you I got mad. I'm sorry, I got mad.
You're entitled.
I'd like to say too that they make it sound like, they're doing a wonderful service to everybody in their volunteer positions. This isn't like they're going in there and helping the elderly, feeding the
No.
elderly, or doing a volunteer position like helping at a food bank. They
Listen.
are volunteering to go in and make. How do you explain it, Rod? Exactly. What exactly are they volunteering for when they are a
Wait.
part of the board of the Port of Sydney?
Well, supposedly then okay, at one point in time they were supposed to control the whole of the harbor, right? And I think she gets into it there. But now all they do is basically it's control of the cruise pavilion and the promotion of the harbor and the cruise ship industry. Okay, the key to that is there any cruise ship industry right now?
No. So
No.
what happened with COVID and all the other businesses in the world, or even in Canada, or even Nova Scotia, that have had no business due to COVID? What have they done? They shut down.
Yeah, they shut down.
Yeah.
They don't keep things
But still
running when
we're
there's nothing.
paying they have this,
We gave
you
them
know,
a
this
20% pay decrease. Are you kidding me? It's 100% less freaking work. Should be zero pay. EI, guy,
Listen.
EI.
Hey,
listen.
is she too
Here-
good
here's
for
what-
EI? I guess so. I guess she probably wouldn't be eligible with the amount
Aw.
she makes.
Tough Titty said the sour kitty when the milk went sour. No, whatever the heck is going on with her, I'm sure she's got enough in the bank, to hold her over until COVID's gone.
Well,
If
we
not,
can't suppose that. Some people are bad with money. But anyway,
Okay,
so
go ahead.
secretive is this new board. It didn't announce publicly that it had renewed Usher's contract, or that she is no longer employed by ACOA, or that ACOA ceased paying half her salary even before the exchange agreement that allowed her to accept the port position had expired. As though decisions about the corporation's leadership and compensation were not the business of the corporation's owners, the citizens of the CBRM.
us,
Us.
yes,
Yeah.
we're the ones that,
We're the owners.
yes, but we're treated like we're just
Yeah.
We're just the
inconsiderate.
audience.
We're not important.
We're the
Yeah,
audience
why?
watching everything take place. We don't have a say in anything. We
Nothing.
don't do anything about it. We just
Nothing.
sit here letting everybody sit on our heads. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
that's why they,
ridiculous. Like
that's why
somebody's
they can
gotta
get away
start
with this.
getting their
Is it
ducks in a row here.
until
getting this-
yeah, like until we actually this is why I believe in this program and why I believe it's so important, right? Is because we're bringing the information to the people that wouldn't normally hear about it or even care, or they'd receive a biased kind of report about it in the Cape Breton Post. And listen, I'm not going to slam the Cape Breton Post too much,
No,
but it's the second.
All right. It's a BS post. They should change it from CB post to BS post. But go ahead.
Yeah, like the whole thing is the Cape Breton Post put in. Oh, sorry about that, Marie. I'm rolling here. I'll let you get back. Sorry, sorry, listeners.
I'm on board with you, but
Mm-hmm.
okay. So this latest kerfuffle is being attributed to a lack of communication between the board and the CBRM council. Funnily enough, the CAO was initially to have been an ex officio board member and non-voting chair and the conduit between the board and the council.
Yeah.
Former CAO Michael Merritt actually performed that role on the interim board. Actually performed that role on the interim board. But in 2017, as the permanent board was about to take over, lawyer Jim Gogan announced that in standard corporations, the board chair is elected by the directors. So they were going to go with that.
What?
Oh, yeah. So the directors at the time were made up of pro Cecil Clark counselors, right? So they elected Marlene Usher, who we've already detailed was basically best buddies, a compadre, an amigo with Cecil Clark. So you see, she wasn't even elected. She was basically appointed, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was no vetting for this position. There was no
she was just
competition.
There weren't any qualifications apparently because she, was thrown in that role with not a lick of experience to the role. Yeah.
Nothing about nothing. There, she's an accountant at her basis level, right?
Yeah.
And nothing wrong with accountants, man. But come on, it's shipping, it's cruise ships, it's boats. Yeah, go ahead.
I actually probably have more qualification than Marlene Usher.
Yeah.
I used to do international shipping as an actual career.
Yeah.
Same. I did it too.
I'd love to go and see what Marlene Usher is actually doing.
I would too.
I've not wanted to say anything.
Right? How many itineraries
But I would like to go and take a look-see.
Yes. And see exactly how many, I don't know, quantitative or even demonstrative pieces of actual work she can show us that she's done, or projects that have been completed, or any proposals that may have been written.
Deliverable.
Like any, she doesn't.
A deliverable would be great. If she could quantify her hours spent in the office, that would be wonderful.
The question, you've hit it nail on the head, girls. What has she done?
For us lately? Nothing!
No, what has she actually done?
Yeah, I know. You're right, Albert.
Bad, though.
Well, we got to get
a lot of money to just give to somebody. We literally are just giving this.
Yeah, we're such a giving municipality.
Pandemic.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, maybe it's time for another.
The actual container ship stuff in a bit. I hope we'll have time today to talk about that too.
All right, anyway. Let's get back going. So, okay.
Right. Got to get through this article here because there is still more to learn.
Right.
So, but communication between the board and the CBRM wasn't that hot, even when the board was made up of the mayor and the councillors. And I think that's indicative of much broader problem. Our municipality's love of secrecy. That's what we ended that with. And I have to agree with that. So, mandate. The point of this 9-member Upright Citizens Board was supposed to have been to oversee a corporation with a much broader mandate than that of the Sydney Ports Corp, which it replaced. Where the SPC had overseen the Marine Terminal and Cruise Pavilion, the PSDC would oversee the entire harbor, including the Greenfield site, which the CBRM hoped to develop into a container terminal. As you were saying there, Rod, earlier. They were supposed to do one thing, and now they were kind of narrowed it down a bit, right? Their actual scope of what they're able to do.
Yeah, they cut 2/3 of their job away, but kept the damn salary primarily Usher at the same price. We took away most of the job that she was supposed to be there for, but we were still paying her $200,000 for the damn job.
Yeah, and now COVID's taken away the rest of her job, and luckily we're still paying her.
Yeah, but this was a nugget that was kind of missed that Marie just spoke about, is that I didn't know until I read this article that ACOA had actually dropped her.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was really surprised to see that.
They
So,
thought she
are we
wasn't worth
holding
a
a whole
dime
bill
either.
for her?
that's a big deal because she was seconded from ACOA, but before even her initial contract was done, they dropped her.
Yeah.
So why did ACOA drop Marlene Usher?
Because she wasn't worth the money they were paying, obviously, Rod.
Woo!
They
Touche,
said
Janet.
the value
Touche.
didn't match the money.
you know, but that's the questions that you start getting into wh- why are we paying these
Pardon
people
me
all
just
this
for a
money?
second. I've got to close this.
Well,
Four people
it's
You
because
go.
we
moving
really
around
like
here,
them.
trying to find
They're good
something.
friends of ours, Rod. And if we didn't like them so much, we could have just got rid of the position long ago. But I really like them people. You know,
Yeah, but we don't anymore.
I
So
know.
so let's if she's not if her job doesn't if her job description doesn't exist, then her job doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So dump her.
Right? Hi,
How do
here's
we
your
go
go
about
file.
dumping somebody who tells us she doesn't like it when council
Our
dump
council.
people who are volunteers? Like, what's going on in her mind right now?
Well, entitlement.
Yes, the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's about time we go and have tea with her and explain stuff.
She
I need
poisoned
to have
us,
a
Marie.
conversation with her or something. I need to know who she is at this point. I've never met anybody. I'm from Guelph, Ontario, and I'm going to tell you entitlement everywhere, right?
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody get away with this kind of depth and level of nonsense. That what is happening here? Are we
Yeah.
all afraid to tell
Yes.
her?
Yes.
Are we afraid to hurt her feelings?
No, Cape Breton has a very small localized market for work, Marie. And if you can't tap into a resource outside this island to get yourself a job, okay, then you're confined to the people and the resources and the network that you have here. And if you completely cut all ties to the main network, which would be, you know, these people that are in the Usher group are the ones running the businesses for the most part, you know, and they'll be the ones that would be a bumper stumper for you to get a job locally. So yeah, I mean, unless you want to be working at minimum wage forever, they will cut you down and make sure that you never succeed on this island. Luckily for me, they can't do that. I could work anywhere in North America, and I do. I work quite happily from home. Yeah, it's a great thing. And they'll never be able to touch me unless they throw me in jail. And I've been there before, so good luck.
Me and Rod are just like, well, I hope
No, like
hope we're
my thing is
safe.
I'll work anywhere. Like it doesn't matter to me whether I'm shoveling dirt or pushing paper.
Right?
No,
Like and I
no.
like yeah, just because you have education doesn't mean you have to limit yourself to uh any position. You know,
Right.
like
Just
if you
because
got
you
to
have
pay the
that higher
bills, you got to pay the
education doesn't
bills,
mean you
right?
don't want to.
So
Yeah. Well, these
anyway,
guys pay the bills and then some. All right, so let's keep going.
yeah,
All
we're
right. So
rolling.
during the
We're
2 years from April Fool's Day 2015 to April Fool's Day 2017, in which the interim board was in place, it spent over $1 million, monies left over from the Harbor Dredge project,
Yeah, and
on business development.
wait.
So you can see
yeah,
the
yeah, wait,
breakdown
yeah.
here, but it was all about funding consultants, Janet, commissioning studies, and entertaining port executives in the
Yeah.
Naval Container Terminal project. You can see the breakdown there.
So they were
In
using
an
this money.
entire actual other article from 2018. We'll look
Nice.
at that later if we have time, okay, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Port of Sydney spending or Greenfield site is eroding.
We'll
Wow.
take a look
Okay.
at that if
Yeah.
not this time around, next week possibly, because I do think it's important for us to look at where are the monies.
We're gonna have time. Keep going. We got
If we
time.
keep going, plugging through here, we will.
You're
Okay.
doing good.
So it was all about funding consultants commission. Okay. Months before the permanent board was installed, the interim board, remember that's the mayor and few councillors,
Yeah.
recommended the PSDC's mandate to be reduced to the cruise pavilion and the marine terminal, and responsibility for the broader harbor and the container terminal project returned to the CBRM. Lawyer Jim Gogan presented these recommendations to council, and as I've written before, it would have been very interesting to hear Gogan's rationale for this change. given the PSDC had been incorporated precisely to fulfill the broader mandate, he was now proposing to strip from it. But nobody asked him to elaborate. I mean, really, it's like going through all the pain and expense of hair plugs and then shaving your head.
So basically, they've given themselves the interim positions on the board, the port board, so that they could appeal to the port board to give it back to the CBRM, which was them. So they didn't want to have it in the interim. They wanted it forever, as long as they were in power. But because they weren't able to keep the port positions for, any length of time, that was just, a temporary thing. They wanted, well, it was temporary for them to place the permanent control of the port over to the CBRM, which was them again. Am I wrong?
Ugh, that's confusing. But
The way you just pulled that together, yeah, I'm thinking you might be right.
Yes. What a bunch of keep reading.
Yeah.
So what she says is, we've been left with an organization that does exactly what the SPC used to do, only with a high-paid CEO and a 9-member board.
Unreal.
There's no look, I got to stop right here.
Go ahead.
There is no longer any need for Marlene Usher, the CEO, and that board, essentially. Okay? All we need is the manager of the cruise pavilion at this point.
Right?
Yeah, that's it. We don't need her $100,000 salary at this point.
No.
We don't need her.
No.
We don't need these because they're doing nothing.
No, they're redundant positions that are just sucking money away.
Yeah. And the thing is like Marie just pointed out, is now they're taking money from the damn dredge to pay their salaries and pay for all these parties and pay for this and pay for that. But that money was never intended for that.
Mm-hmm.
It was intended for harbor
for the dredge.
harbor navigation
Mm-hmm.
and for the greenfield site.
See,
but no, we're not going to have it because we're paying for Marie.
exactly.
Sorry, paying for Marlene Usher.
Marlene
everything else.
and for her ideas, basically.
Yeah,
What ideas?
yeah,
A
exactly.
fucking Ferris wheel. Sorry, I swore.
That Ferris wheel burns us all, though. I mean, really. Let's keep reading.
Sorry,
It
go ahead,
kills
Marie.
me every time. It's my favorite.
Mhm.
Okay, so diversification. Here we go. It's all about the Ferris wheel coming up.
It's
The
all
only
about
peek
the
we get into
Ferris
the
wheel.
board's workings is during its annual AGM, and is this year's was given over mostly to discussing the terrible effects of COVID, which had canceled the cruise season and savaged the port's revenues, right? So the presentation Usher gave at the 2020-2021 AGM focused largely on plans to turn the cruise pavilion into a high-end market, the Liberty Emporium, and to add facilities like a play area for children and a Ferris wheel, the latter on a temporary, not permanent basis.
This is Simpson stuff.
It is.
This
And
is exactly what I picture, and it's so bizarre that you said Simpsons. It sounds like something that would come out of Springfield, like a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
I know. And shopping and people gathering is so top of the list right now of what's going on,
But these are their ideas.
Their ideas suck, and they need to just stop being paid to think about them. Get rid of them.
Did we get rid of Burns through Burns by Cecil not being here, and now we just left his sidekick there, which is Marlene?
Yeah. It's basically it.
Okay, gotcha. If we can if we can dummy it down for people like me and others, then why not, right?
No, man.
That, guys, just
No, this is not dumb. This is not dumbing nothing down because this is.
We can't make this shit up.
No.
Yeah, we can't make this shit up. They wanted their big idea was a Ferris wheel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I
would have had more
fun of when I brought that up. People were like, there's no Ferris wheel. What are you talking about Ferris wheels for? I'm going to tell you. I kept saying, she said it. And they were like, no, she didn't, Maria. It was just a by flight. It was just a flight thing she said.
I know. Yeah, I know. And here she said it again. Wow. Twice in 2 articles. Goodness. We must be catching good ones, Marie. Keep going.
And here we go. Are we ready?
Yeah.
As I wrote at the time, I'm not opposed to making the pavilion more attractive to residents. It is our facility after all. But this seems like the kind of development that would benefit from public input. Instead, it's being discussed and decided by the port board in private. Board members frequently stress the unpaid nature of their work, and it's true. They're not paid, but they do get to make decisions like these, which involve the expenditure of public monies and the
Yeah.
use and development of public infrastructure. There's
Public,
no
public.
excuse for not making their deliberations around these decisions public.
Right.
Public.
I didn't see the word private anywhere in there. Not one time did you read
Not
the
what
word
she
private.
said public so many times I've spit all over my screen.
I know, and yet everything's
Kidding.
public. But yet it's just like a black wall of transparency. It's opaque. It's like there's no transparency. You can't see it at all. The tint's so strong.
It literally looks like those darn new beautiful pieces of glass they put up over City Hall. You cannot see through them. That's exactly how transparent everything is at this point in time.
Yeah. The only thing you can see is your eyes reflecting back in your face.
Looking right back
What's
at
going
you.
on? What is it? I don't know. I can't see.
It's
Okay,
a
Marie.
cloak of
All right.
invisibility.
Yes.
So,
Mm.
here we are.
Last paragraph.
Are we ready for this?
Yep.
Do it.
During that previously mentioned May meeting of the nominating committee, Campbell Ryan suggested council might be able to find 2 new port board members, one of whom should have a background in engineering and the other in marketing, among the unsuccessful applicants who had answered the call for applications in January. This prompted a roughly 40-minute discussion that ended in the decision to have the clerk approach qualified candidates who had previously applied to see if they were still interested in joining what has to be one of the most dysfunctional boards in the history of the municipality. If they are not interested, Campbell Ryan will add the port board positions to the advertisement that will be going out soon for other citizen volunteers. And once we've got the board fully staffed again, we can talk about meeting in public.
I'm sure.
In public.
All right. So there was another one that we were going to read. Was
Yep,
it
the breakdown.
All right. So that's the March 3rd, Mary Campbell. Mary Campbell of the Cape Breton Spectator is one of our most favorite journalists. She's very thorough, and her way that she writes is just incredible. We love Mary's writing and her digging. She's our Nancy Drew of the island.
I hit a different link than you. I see that you can see the breakdown here is the link I hit. Which one have you got up there?
I've got Port AGM high-end shopping on the Great Circle. And then, I've got this one, Port of Sydney spending or the Greenfield site is eroding.
That one would be it.
Okay.
The Greenfield site is eroding.
Let's give her.
Down here.
Okay.
All right. So this was May 9th, 2018 by Mary Campbell again. So back in April 2017, the Spectator asked the Port of Sydney Development Corporation for a breakdown of spending from its so-called Assumption Fund. I love that name. What the fuck? Sorry, pardon me, but what is that? Assumption Fund. It just sounds
very conspicuous.
So the Assumption Fund is a trust fund containing monies, about 2.5 million originally, left over from the 2012 Sydney Harbour Dredge, a $37 million project funded by 3 levels of government with a $1 million contribution from Nova Scotia Power Inc.
Yeah. Wasn't that nice?
Leftover funds were earmarked for new navigational aids for the Deepen Channel, CBU research on fish habitat post-dredge, and monitoring of the Confined Disposal Facility, CDF, for the dredged material, better known as the Greenfield site. Originally under the control of the Sydney Ports Corporation, the SPC, the Assumption Sydney Development Corporation, when it took over from the SPC in 2015.
All right, stop. So in this article, I'm seeing CBU research on fish habitat post-dredge. Now, I've gone to college. You've been to university, Rod. As students, they get you to do projects, and it's part of passing your term, okay? So why are none of these students being tasked as their, projects and having them put into teams and doing these things for FREE, which is, free and cost us nothing, and it would actually help the students to get some actual, their feet wet with some actual work that would help them in life, and not just something that's coming out of a textbook, not going to be pertinent to things that they'll be working on outside of their schooling, and have these things done for free. Why are we paying all their buddies studies when we can tap into CBU with resources up the yin yang and have this shit done for nothing?
I completely agree. Yeah, like CBU is
hands-on learning.
Yeah, it's an untapped resource, and it's been one of my big big problems for a long time. Like, the quick answer to that is, why do that when I can pay my friend $20,000 to do a study?
Exactly right.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm getting sick of these buddies with their little writing their checkbooks out, and it's just the money got to stop being given out so freely around here. They need to earn it. All right. And when you can get people to do it for free, you need to be getting them people to do it for free, not these volunteers. I'm talking about the students. Never mind these study buddies.
Study buddy.
I like to believe that, like, just
That's a
like
good
when a
name,
company
Study
gets a new
Buddy.
CEO, the company will sometimes take a new direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
that's the way
like,
I think we look at Amanda, kind of like as our mayor, as the CEO of a company, trying to take it a new direction. I don't know
oh
if
man,
anybody else looks at it that way, but that's the way I see it.
like I know I've been stressing it time and time again, but the problem isn't our elected officials,
No,
right?
it's
Our
the red tape.
problem
It's the
is the bureaucracy that
Yeah.
is surrounding them.
Mm-hmm.
Until we actually clean up the bureaucracy, then we'll have no progress on this island. And I mean it just like that. Is that we really, 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 as citizens, have to become involved and say to our politicians, our elected politicians, you are in control, not the bureaucracy that surrounds you.
Right.
Yes. Change
Okay.
those rules. Don't be the ones that are actually just yes men. Be the
Yeah.
ones that stand up and make the rules that they are, so they're actually a feasible rule for all to follow too.
Well, that's
Because
why
it seems there's a
independent
lot of
is becoming popular because the big parties are too ruly, and you got to work within the confines and not within
Oh, yeah.
what works for the people. And that's why there's more independents becoming popular, because they're able to think freely and they don't have a bunch of walls and borders stopping them from making things work for the actual people that elected them. Is my opinion.
Completely. I believe in independent people running.
Mhm.
Especially here in Cape Breton, where we have a limited voice in the provincial legislature, and we
Mhm.
have a limited voice in the federal government,
And the
right?
voices we do have seem to only be benefiting the parties and not the people.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, and like our voice, especially in the provincial level, is that where I think we can make some movement there is that Cape Breton really needs a separate voice. We need to actually be able to express the needs of the people here, because once you go to Halifax, you get lost in the fray, and your voice is minimal. Even they took away 2 of our seats not 10 years ago. You
Mhm.
know, CB Nova and another seat up in around Inverness, right? So
Yep.
we're down to how many MLAs? 8, 7, 6? I don't know anymore.
I don't even know.
Good question.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right, keep going.
All right. Well, she goes on to talk about the fish habitat research and CDF monitoring happened. The navigational aids never did. And some of the money that might have been used for them was subsequently diverted to business development. The Spectator wrote about it all in detail here.
yeah.
So, that's probably, once again, it's another wonderful little article.
And how
All
they're
the ports partners.
Oh God, the
Okay, we'll
first
have to
two
wiggle
names
that
in
one
this,
out at some time.
Sheehy and Barbucci.
Oh, those guys.
Oh,
Do you
Those
know that?
guys,
Do you
yeah, they
know that
seem to
it's
be
rumored
everywhere,
that
aren't
they
they?
asked for a 10-year. Barbucci and Sheehy asked for a 10-year renewal
Yep.
on their contract.
what?
Yeah,
Ship. Yeah,
that's
they did. But
The two clowns
they
we
did not
paid
get it, right?
$2,500 for 18 months, every single day of the week, Saturday and Sunday included. Those two clowns asked for an extension to do what? We're
10
gonna.
years.
Were they going to send them to the other side of the world or something? Like we're gonna.
We already did that.
No,
Yeah,
I
we did that.
mean, I guarantee, guys, there's ports they didn't visit. But are they going to get another vacation on us? Vacation that none of us will ever be able to afford in our wildest dreams?
Yeah, yeah. Do your thing, Marie. Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Well, the business development spending we reported on earlier centered on the drive to turn Sydney into a mega hub for ultra large container vessels, ULCVs. Since that last article, responsibility for the container terminal project has been removed from the Port of Sydney and returned to the Mayor of CBRM and our port developer, Albert Barbucci of the Sydney Harbour Investment Partnership. I was
We'll just
curious
give it
to
to
see if that
somebody.
had slowed spending from the Assumption Fund, so I asked Port CEO Marlene Usher for an updated accounting of all business development spending from the fund, and she very promptly sent it to me. The only additional items since the last article are these. And look through here. We've got confined disposal facility monitoring. In the year ended March 31st, 2018, CBCL received $92,024. $92,024 for monitoring the confined disposal facility or greenfield site, which is where we're supposed to build this mega container terminal. The figure represented a sharp jump from the $17,296 paid to CBCL for the same job in 2016 and the $16,633 paid in 2017. I asked Usher what explained the spike in this payment, and she told me the CDF was eroding in one section, and CBCL, who monitors it, identified a body of work which was contracted out. This work was done by Joan L. Jim at a cost of $68,990. Emphasis mine.
Right. To confined disposal facility. Okay, who can tell me what disposal means? That's a word for garbage, is it? Garbage.
Yeah. Don't get her started on that.
Trash.
She's got a freak.
We are paying not 68. Let's just round that $10 up to $69,000. Rich total Jim for what? To get rid of garbage?
Whoa, hold it.
They'll do it.
But on top of this, you got to understand that these figures are now 4 years old. Yes. So if you do quick math there, like this is 4 times whatever that was. So we're still paying this money.
We got a headache.
For what?
Yeah, right.
And I've walked.
4
okay,
years,
I'm gonna.
4 years old.
I'm gonna reveal something. Sorry, Marie.
No, it's okay. I think it's good to get your points in. I originally listed this payment last, but realized I was effectively burying the lead. The erosion of the intended location for our mega container port surely deserves top billing. So, Breton Law, $5,569. Purpose, ongoing legal work regarding all aspects of the project, including exclusivity agreement and further legal documents, as well as other port work such as harbor divestiture issues and FOIPOP. So we paid
them to block us from letting us have the information.
Yeah, it's not fun. We paid them, so we can't. I can't believe the crap.
How are we paying them to make sure that nobody's going to see transparency? And we're going to fight and make sure that the freedom of information is blocked so that you can't even access it because we're paying to make sure that it never gets seen.
Here's where I have to say I cannot comment on any FOIPOP issues.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So this is the law firm of omnipresent Jim Gogan, who is the lawyer for the Port of Sydney Development Corporation, but who also works directly for the CBRM at times. This latest payment brings the total paid to him from the Assumption Fund to date to $149,040. Why can't I read this? $149,040.
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah.
What?
I would be remiss if I did not point out that the port's belief that it is free to spend monies from the Assumption Fund on business development without having first secured new navigational aids, which turned out to be much more costly than originally estimated, is based upon a legal opinion from Jim Gogan.
Well, then how come we didn't take Mr. Jim Gogan and his expertise and have somebody else make their law group pay the shortcomings of whatever it was that they had in their study that was required for a certain amount of money? Would they not be legally bound by their study that required so much money to make up the shortfall? Because if it was us that gave them an estimate that cost so much and it was our numbers were in the fault, they sure as shit would have made us up the other fucking difference. Excuse my French. But why didn't we do it to them? Oh, because they're buddies, study buddies. Oh my God!
Yeah, and Jim Gogan's name just keeps coming up again and again. And if we go back to the previous article, you'll see that Jim Gogan was instrumental in actually giving Marlene Usher her position at the
That's
board.
where I know that name.
Yeah. And
So-
was he, who's the other one? Mosevich. Tony Mosevich was also the lawyer who defended for Cecil Clark in one of the, I can't keep up with this debacle.
Defended the CBRM
Yeah, they're all the
against.
same. They're all the same
Yeah,
law
but I don't
firm,
think
from what I
that-
understand, right?
Or, yeah, okay. All right.
Okay.
Well,
So now,
Yeah.
next bit of money. Darius Group, $25,974.
Consulting? Consulting? Consulting is my new word for GoFundMe, except it's Go Bleed Me public. Instead of the GoFundMe, as soon as I see the study or consultation, it's like, oh, they just bled us again. We got our wrist
Janet
voice
sees red
again.
when she sees study.
what's Hatch
For
doing?
the
What's
last
Hatch?
week,
Here's
I've
something.
suffered
What's
through
Hatch
them.
doing?
We're trying to figure out what happens after the studies, because they do them, but then nothing comes of them.
But it's not
And then they
about
go do
that.
another
Gail.
study.
Listen. The studies are not about actual progress
No.
or actually creating anything. All they're about is giving money to the companies that do the studies. It's not. Look, don't even when you see. Don't even put it into your mind that it's about benefiting the CBRM and its populace. All it is about benefiting
Themselves?
the employees of those companies
Yes.
who are linked to the establishment.
Yeah.
That's it.
They're getting kickbacks too, Rod. If they're for 1 second, you think they get kickbacks of some sort. Well, then I'd love to see a little, all their bankroll. Love to see it. How many study buddies gave them?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do this, man. Let's do this.
I just want to say, I picture it all like a big dessert buffet, and you got the bigger guys who are all sharing a pie, and then you got the smaller guys who are all given a little tart, and everybody's happy.
Universal Rail.
Getting their little piece of sweet from our Cape Breton Island, and we're all sitting here outside the buffet, clawing to looking in. That's the way I would look at this.
Look at this study.
Like
This study was only $7,000. What was this, welfare week? We had super discount on this study, or this guy wasn't a buddy enough to get a full amount of a study?
Yeah, but none of these things amounted to anything.
No.
Nothing.
So the purpose of this was consulting assignment to assist Port on Transport Canada file regarding cabotage. Is that right?
Yeah.
Cabotage, yeah.
Right? And to
you're doing
appeal
it.
for level playing field for all ports under CETA and attend Senate hearings in Ottawa and provide briefings. That would be Dave Dingwall, or should I say CBU President David Dingwall. And it brings the total paid to him by the Port of Sydney to $54,010.
What?
Hatch Engineering, $80,300. Purpose,
Yeah.
cost analysis of rail, including bridges and required infrastructure improvements. Hatch Engineering, self-described entrepreneurs with a technical soul, which seems to imply they have one soul between them, was engaged by the Port of Sydney in 2017 to estimate the cost of repairs and upgrades to the Genesee and Wyoming G&W operated Cape Breton.
This is
and
actually
Central
a
Nova
really
Scotia
important study.
CNS rail line. Hatch's
That's
final
actually an
report
important
submitted
study.
earlier this year as the Spectator. Whoop. I went and touched that. Yeah. Final report, as the Spectator and Halifax Examiner reported, put those costs at about $101 million. You can find a copy of the report on the Port of Sydney website, although my antivirus program keeps detecting a threat when I try to open it. Now, remember, this was before they took down the whole entire thing, and she found that there was nothing on it. And now, of course, they have put something up, right? Because don't forget, this is before.
I'm clicking on them now, and they're coming up.
It's like they had to clean up the Port Authority page, and they literally erased it for a time, all things on it, and now it's up and running anyway. That's good.
Yeah, I got it up.
So Universal Rail Systems, $7,000. Purpose, cost analysis of rail study from Donkin to Sydney Port. The Port of Sydney helped fund this study for the Scotia Rail Development Society. Universal Rail Systems is a Canadian company specializing in railway construction. Now,
why give two different rail? Like, they both are different rail companies doing the same type of study.
Um, um, yeah, Hatch is different from these guys. Um, Hatch is more going to be more in depth and actually in the actual structural stuff. While these guys were actually, I don't know why these guys were involved.
Universal
They
Rail
shouldn't have
System.
needed
Let's
them.
look them up.
You've only needed one engineering firm to do the study on the rail system and its infrastructure. Because if you can't hire one company to analyze one particular aspect, which is the rails, then you got the wrong company. You need two?
Yeah,
Well,
well,
I just pulled up that tab, and this is, I don't know if you guys
Ah,
can see
Scotia
it.
Rail is headed by Jim Kehoe. Well, that could make sense. Back to John Old Jim. So I guess it's just a different piece
oh,
of pie labeled with a different name so they can get more of the study buddy money.
study buddy. That's really good. All
That's
right,
my words
Study
of
buddy
the
money.
pod.
that's study buddy. Another word today.
Mm,
We have
Oh,
entitlement and study buddies.
yeah. So,
Okay.
go, Marie.
okay, we ready?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you add it all up. All told, as you can see from my beautiful table below, the Port of Sydney spent $210,867 from Assumption Fund in the year ending 03/31/18, bringing its total spending from the fund to 1.1 million.
Yeah. And how much of that is
Isn't that a
left?
lovely little table? And what do we have to show for it? Several
Oh my God.
reports, some legal advice, a retractable banner, a few satisfied visitors, and a Chinese sister city. We seem to be neglecting shamefully. I bet you don't even remember her name. It's Dalian, a port city of 6 million in northeast China, and we could practically be twins.
Twins.
The Cape Breton Spectator is entirely reader supported. Please consider subscribing today, as also what I should say to everybody. So let's look at our Chinese sister city quickly, guys. Shall we?
Okay, do it if you want to.
Grab up that tab if you can. There, I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh my
Hi,
God.
Tara. Hi, Tara Camus.
Do you know about this sister city, Rod?
Yeah, I know about this sister city. I think Cecil and crew went and visited here
Yep.
a couple
Here
of
it is.
times.
Yeah. I mean, look at the picture. It looks just like Sydney.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to tell you a little about it if we have a
Look,
minute.
man, there's Center 200 right over there, right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh, look, there's the casino. It's virtually the same.
So, the Cape Breton Regional Municipality has signed an agreement to create a sister city relationship with the Chinese port city of Dalian. The deal was brokered by Harbour Port Development Partners, the agency with exclusive authority to negotiate on behalf of CBRM to develop a container terminal in the Port of Sydney. Harbour Port CEO Albert Barbucci says the relationship will offer benefits in a number of ways. Dalian has agreed to work with us on port development, he said, but the real value is for Nova Scotia and Cape Breton to look at the potential trading that they can do with China. Barbucci said that the sister city agreement will work on at least 3 levels. One is to have a port relationship, second would be city to city, and the third tier, which is the most important tier, is to bring the peers together, the business community from Cape Breton and Nova Scotia, and to match them up with our colleagues from Dalian, so that they can begin to talk about what's important, and that is trade and
Look at that.
business.
Oh boy, she looks just
Mayor
like you.
excited by the possibilities.
Wait, this
CBRM
was
Mayor
written.
Cecil Clark was recently in Dalian, forging relationships
See, I told you, he was there.
This was
related to
in
the sister city agreement.
2016.
He's excited about the
2016.
potential.
What came of this? This is
Nothing.
5 years ago. 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're
Nothing.
still being told all this BS and all this money being spent and nothing, not one
And
tangible thing to show us.
and on top of it, Barbushi and Sheehy, the ship, want a 10-year extension
Yes.
of their contract.
To do this kind of stuff.
Exactly. But here's the thing, Steve Gillespie and Steve Parsons actually, and Darren Brookschrager actually supported Barbushi's extension.
Yes.
They, you can look at.
Obviously, they're
No,
getting
I'm
some-
serious.
Yeah,
But
well,
why?
for them to, for anybody to support them after what they've done to us, went on the highest end vacation for 18 months and got $2,500 every single day, including the weekends, including holidays, $2,500 a piece. I mean, I don't know anybody who gets that kind of money. Probably not even the premier or the prime minister of Canada doesn't even get that kind of money a day. Anyways,
No.
we were able to pay them that. And for them to think they're going to get an extension so
They
they can
do.
suck more blood out of us, they're
Yeah.
elitists. I hate
Well,
it.
Well, you know what, girls, like what we're looking at is a real separation between what the people want and what the politicians want and what the
Yeah.
business community wants.
Well, it won't align because what the people want is definitely not what the leeches want, because the leeches just want to keep sucking us dry,
That's
making
what it
sure the only business development is development that creates their businesses to get bigger and better. And to hell with everybody else that, the other 99% of the businesses out there that aren't their study buddy friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a summation.
Mm.
That knocked me out. I don't know what.
Could be my
Yeah,
morning
but you know, like, could we go back, because we only have a little bit of time left
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
Bill?
Mhm.
Could we go back to Marlene Usher and Jerry Gillis and the CEO and all that sort
Why
of
don't
thing?
we?
Go ahead.
The key thing about these people, right, is they are our employees. Like, Marlene Usher is employed essentially by the people of the CBRM.
Don't tell her that, Rob.
Oh,
Don't
but
tell
I
her
am
that,
right
Rod. She doesn't
now.
want to hear that.
Right now, I'm telling her that, and
You're
it
on
should,
notice, Marlene.
and she is not above the mayor. She is not above the council, and guess what? She's not above either all of us.
No,
You know,
but she
and she
thinks
should
she
have
is.
to
It's the
answer
problem.
to the mayor and council, and in turn answer to us, and she doesn't like it.
Well, in all actuality,
That's right.
she needs to be given her walking papers, because for being paid anything for a job that is right now not existent,
Non-existent.
she's fleecing the municipality, and every dollar she accepts is like theft to me. What did you do to earn it?
Yeah, well, that's the thing we have to really ask of these people. What are you doing to earn your salary?
Mm-hmm.
When I go and I work at a school, cleaning a school, I know what I'm doing to
Right.
earn my
Can we
money.
quickly look at Marlene's little memo
Yeah,
that
Yeah.
she
go
did
for it. Yeah,
actually
do it.
write to them,
Yeah,
and
let's
what her
do it.
complaint was? Because I think
Yes.
we should know about that.
Yeah.
Port CEO Marlene Usher wrote to the CBRM to seek replacements for the board members who were leaving, and said she was not happy that the committee's decision to assign new members to the board. Port CEO Marlene Usher, here she is. I just said that it was disappointing, and they didn't seem to know that it was the chair and the vice chair that had put their name in to reoffer, she said. I don't know why, but there was a little bit of a disconnect there. To lose both of them at the same time did leave a gap, and that part was very disappointing. Usher said communication could be better between the port board, which runs the cruise ship terminal, and the municipality. I talked to the clerk about it, and we both agreed that we probably should have communicated a lot more in terms of what was taking place, that the chair and the vice chair were leaving, and that the continuity and good governance, it would be good to have at least one of those positions continued, she said.
Hmm. Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
as the port's only shareholder, CBRM has the power to name the board of
There it is.
directors,
There it is.
right?
There it
And
is,
the
Marie.
municipality's nominating committee made a public call in January for citizens to sit on various boards and committees, including the port. So
Yeah.
it is good. Like, our new council and mayor is trying to put it out there. I mean, they are opening it up where Cecil was never going to open it up. And
Mm-hmm.
certainly Marlene has some good friends she lost there on that port.
Some study buddies that will no longer be studying.
Right? Like,
All they were was a rubber stamp.
Yeah.
And, that's all it was. And that's why she's mad. It's
Yes.
because, like,
yes.
I don't get my allies in there. Instead, I'll actually have people that might question my decisions.
Right? We don't want questioning people. We want
No,
yes people. And
no,
those are
no.
yes people, and now they're gone. Now I'm going to have to work over these other new people and turn them into yes people. But what if they get
No.
turned? Albert
No.
wants to have a private conversation with you after the show, Rod, or sometime when you are free. Albert Collins. He's requested, I said, so far, guy, I'd like a short chat with you, kind of important. So I think he might have something to tell you that he doesn't want the Boa of Akoa. Probably
Yeah.
something Marlene Usher related, right up your alley. But guys, that is one more minute left of the show. Does anybody got anything to add? What are we going to talk about next week, guys? Any ideas?
I leave that up to you guys.
Okay.
But,
All right. Go ahead.
Marie, could you do me one big favor? If you could look up that link to the CBRM councils where they have like their addresses and all the phone numbers and
Oh,
all that stuff.
absolutely. Yeah.
But listen, this is what we can do as citizens. I want you all to write or call your counselor and tell them you support them. You support
Absolutely.
their decisions in turn to
We'll
the
put
board.
that on in our comments below for everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe even when we share it, we'll even put it maybe as a top photo or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll do something. We'll add it in there so everybody knows there's your counselor. You can't say you don't know who he is. It's in a nice, clear list, concise list with their name, their number, their email address.
Be
So
the
you
change.
guys all right.
Be the change.
Right. Okay. All right, guys. So next week, we're going to keep our eyes on Mary and the Cape Breton Spectator, of course, and all the other local journalists that we have here. We got Tom Ayers from CBC that writes great articles. We also have Joe Ward from Cape Breton Local that's writing great articles, and they all like to keep us informed. But as you know, Mary Campbell is our favorite from the Cape Breton Spectator. And it may be because she's a woman and we like girl power around here, and Rod likes girl power too. Who knows? But Mary's got a great way of writing.
Rod has written a few pretty good articles himself. I've got to say that I've read
Got me in
recently,
trouble.
and I like your writing as well, Rod.
Hey, if we're in trouble, we're doing something right, Rod. That's all I can say. Is if they don't like what we're,
power to the people.
Glad you enjoyed the show today, Marie. You have a great day too, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Share and like this video. Cape Breton Originals brings it to you raw and real. We are on the fly live. We are flivers, and we are not scripted. There's no boundaries with our broadcasts.
They couldn't.
But we only swore twice.
Unless it's the weekend, it's thrice. All right, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you back again on Sunday, 9 a.m. next week. And God knows what we'll be talking about, but it's going to be corruption happening here in the CBRM. Have a great week, guys. Cape Breton Originals out.
Thanks.
Out.